Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar, Cybersecurity 2030, AI role in future protection. Whether you're tuning in from office, home, or elsewhere, it's amazing seeing such a diverse group of audience interested in cybersecurity, in future protection for cybersecurity. Well, in today's digital world, it's essentially important for businesses to stay ahead of the curve. And cybersecurity is concerning cybersecurity is concerning these days. Due to this reason, yeah, this session is crucial, and um, we'll be going through. We'll be exploring how artificial intelligence can be harnessed in keeping ourselves and businesses essentially from protecting from the future threats of cybersecurity by harnessing the artificial intelligence. Before we move on, let me quickly introduce you to the organization behind this session, Logic Finder. Logic Finder is dedicated in helping businesses to protect their digital infrastructure with innovative cybersecurity solution. Their message is to guide businesses like yours um, in navigating digital threats, ensuring your system and data remain secure. Okay, now let me just introduce you quickly to the guest, Mr. Ammar Hussain Jaffri. I'm sorry for that. It's an honor for me to introduce our speaker, Mr. Ammar Hassan Jaffri, a leader in cybersecurity and digital innovation with over 40 years of experience and dual master degree in computer science and statistics. His contribution in Pakistan digital landscapes escapes are remarkable. He founded a security expert, spread ahead Pakistan's first computer emergency response team, CURT, and played a pivotal role in integrating emerging technologies like IoT with a strong security framework. Currently, he's a president. He's the president of ISACA Islamabad. He lead effort to utilize AI to anticipate and counter cyber threats. Today, he'll be sharing his insights in how AI is transforming cybersecurity and how can prepare for future challenges. Mr. Ammar, we are excited. Please go ahead. This is yours.
Thank you much, Bismillahir Rahim. I begin with the name of Allah, the most merciful. Firstly, I would like to thank the organizer of this webinar for inviting me in this gathering. I'm really honored. So, as already been introduced, I am former head of Cyber Department, Government of Pakistan, which is now called Cyber Wing. So, currently, I am founder of Digital Pakistan, and we are working on user emerging technologies for sustainable cybersecurity Digital Pakistan Vision 2030. I think this is a very clear message. I think through this, what we are doing now, that if we want to be in the successful countries of the world, we need to use emerging technologies. AI is one of the emerging technology,
AI
fast
was
emerging
one of the,
technology, rather fastest emerging technology in the world. And if we will not use it for the development sector, which is SDGs these days, and when we start using it, we will have cyber crisis. So this message, I think, very much clear. Now, let me start after my brief introduction. Let me start about the internet. Ladies and gentlemen, we had internet. We are having internet, and we will have internet. Internet is like water. It's like what I will you name anything which we require as a human being. I think internet is like the same thing. Just think for a minute that you don't have internet. I think it's even unimaginable that we don't have internet. So what happened in the past? Luckily, I have been in the era when we had IBM 360, which was a computer of, I think, more than the size of this room, which I am sitting right now. And I happened to work with that. So we started with the very basic assembler language, COBOL language, all these three. And you will be amazed to know that in those days, we used to have this much of big size of discs only with 40 MB. Don't laugh at me. Trust you me, I had been using those discs, which these three human beings used to pull from their wherever they are stationed. So we had memory of I think 144K. I think you may not be understand the word
No,
K,
no, I
right? It's
completely
like
comprehend what you're
thousand.
saying, Mr. Jaffrey. I have gone through that as well. I mean, 2 GB was like a whole bunch of like a box of cake.
Yeah, yeah. So we had been witnessing
Like
the past
nostalgia.
of internet. We had we had diskettes in our pockets, all these things. Trust you me, I happened to work those cards, which were 80 column cards. And once I was going from my office to the computer room, the deck of card dropped down. Trust you me, I was told that program is gone now. So I had to rewrite it. So I think this is very interesting that we all know about the past. Now let's talk about the present. In the present era, I think in the last, I must say, 30 years, the journey of internet was like this. In the initial 20 years, I'm just talking about these last 30 years, it was growing. Then in the last 10 years, it started growing fast. And in the last 5 years, it attained a speed which is unacceptable to anybody who don't want to do anything, right? So it is scary now. But in the last 1 year, if we focus exactly on 24, it has gone the speed which is unimaginable in the human history. You know, human history is like this, that immediately after industrial revolution, from 1.0 to now we are talking about 5.0, what we call industrial revolution 5.0. If you just look at it, so in those years, now we are talking about so many things. I think so far so good. But which is now very much important is the future of internet. The future of internet is now dependent on two things. One is the speed of internet, which is I happen to work with China very frequently these days, and I think they're already working on 5G, and they are already adopting 6G, and now they are planning on
Mhm.
7G. On a click of a button, you can download the terabyte of information. So far so good, no issues. Now the big data. What is a big data? Big data is something where you have huge data. I think the word huge is less than it. Huge data, right? And when you apply artificial intelligence, when you use data analytics, when you try to identify the pattern, trust you me, you can know anything about that data. As I was introduced in my introduction by the honorable host, I did two masters. One is in statistics, and one is in computer science. So you can very well imagine that I so many years back, I why did I did these masters? So this is very amazing that statistics is playing a very vital role in understanding the data.
Oh,
You know, data
mhm.
is something live, I must say. You have to understand it. If you don't understand data, you cannot do anything now. So the remaining part of my discussion would be role of emerging technology in rapid the transformation of internet. What is role? You know what is let's discuss about emerging technology. I think if we talk about IoT, Internet of Things, if we talk about blockchain, if we talk about metaverse, if we talk about AR, VR, if we talk about now we are talking about quantum computing. So all these things are now coming with the speed of light, I must say, right? But AI, I think is 2 days only back news that how the competition is going on with China between China and America, right? So the topic today is that we need to understand these things. Unless we will not understand the role of emerging technologies in this rapid development of all these things. And especially, I'll be focusing on security.
Security, right?
You know, what is security? If I have 10 rupees note in my pocket, I'll be careful. Maybe I may not bother. But if I have 2,000 rupees in my pocket, I'll be careful. But if I have 2 lakhs in my pocket, I think I'll be very careful. And if I have 2 million in my pocket, I'll straight go to the bank. I will not, I cannot afford to walk like
Exactly.
this. So, as the amount of data is increasing now, amount of whatever, the amount of information, whatever you could say, the value of information is increasing, we have to be very careful, right? So, I think it should be now everybody's concern. I happen to be the head of the organization which is taking cognizance of cyber crimes in
Okay.
Pakistan. And there was a long period. But I was not worried about the cybersecurity in those days. But today I am more worried about the cybersecurity part of it. And that's why I formulated this PISA, Pakistan Information Security Association. It's a not for profit of my company security experts. Why I worried about cybersecurity? Because to my understanding, cybercrime is something different, cybersecurity is something different. Cyber taking cognizance of cybercrime is the responsibility of the state. They must make laws, they must make regulations, they must have a regulator, all these things. But cybersecurity is your concern, my concern, everybody concern, right? So when we talk about cybersecurity, we need to understand that on which pillars cybersecurity is working right these days. CIA. It's not the other CIA I'm talking about. It's CIA, right? You need your desire and need is to keep your information confidential because need to know basis. It must be shared with someone. It must be shown to someone. In Pakistan, we have a Data Privacy Act now, and now if something I want to share with, let's say, only with my friends, I don't want to share with anyone, so nobody else should be allowed to see it. So how my information will remain confidential when there's some system working? Integrity is very important because integrity is something which make sure the information which I'm sending to someone is the same which was expected out of it. If during the transfer or during any arrangement information is changed, when your packets travel on the internet, they have a payload, then they have the some sort of header, then some sort of trailer. But again, there are something which is definitely not understood by the simple man using internet. It only the cybersecurity people understand it, that somebody can play up that information. Any packet routed towards some particular destination can be rerouted to some other destination. Normally, what we call man in the middle attack. So, integrated information covers so many things. It's reaching to the destination in the original form. You can use blockchain for that. There are so many things we can talk about, but naturally, since the time is limited, so I have to be quick on these things. And very importantly, availability. I am putting the best cryptographic functions on my information travel. I am putting the best thing, everything, whatever you call it, firewall, all what we are facing today. But it has not remained available. So there is no point into it. You have the best food you have cooked, but you cannot eat it, right? Due to any reason. So these three things are the basic pillar of cybersecurity. Now, this is very important. Uh, Alhamdulillah, I have been in this profession for so many years. You have heard in my
Yeah.
CV.
40 years.
To my understanding, up till now, we have been working only on reactive cybersecurity. Something happens, and then we are on it.
Okay.
Something happens, we are on it. Now, whatever we have deployed, SIEM, SOAR, SOC, whatever we deployed, whatever standard, GDPR, ISO, whatever we have, they're all reactive, right? But now the era has come again, thanks to AI, thanks to big data, thanks to all these technology we're talking about, when we can take proactive measures. That sounds very interesting. I will know at least a few hours before, or at least 24 hours before, that what's going to happen with my data. How? This is very catchy now. If If a vehicle cross your home, I think daily at 6 p.m., and you have the data exactly at 6 p.m., this vehicle crosses your home, and the data is for the last 2 years. So if I ask you, like, what's going to happen after 5 minutes, after 1 hour, after 10 hours, you can say that yes, a vehicle with this number will cross my home. Why you have told? Because it's the pattern. But the what is the basis of this decision, which is very correct, that this pattern is happening for the last so many years now, so many months now, so many days now. So it's going to happen like this. There are exceptions, yes, but they have got so less probability that it's almost zero probability, right?
Exactly.
So again, this proactive cybersecurity depends on the amount of data. This is very important. Amount of information on which you are making your decisions, be it banking, be it your financials, be it your any talk about anything. So this shift from reactive cybersecurity to proactive cybersecurity, I think is very important. I will request my host to please remind me 2 3 minutes before that when I have to take the
Sure.
question. I'll be very thankful to you because I'm not looking to the watch now. Right?
But
Okay.
since you have
Now,
paused, I would like to thank the viewers. Thank you so much for joining us. And yeah, we'll be responding to all of your questions soon. Mr. Amar, please carry on.
okay. Actually, I always like answering the questions. I can talk hours and hours and hours on these things, but I'm uh, reading from the screen. You can see it. But I think if so, never think that your question may be relevant or not. Please, because your question may be not relevant to you, but it may be relevant to some others. So it's very important. Please, as the host will tell me to stop, then please have questions for me. Now let's talk about the. I cannot go into detail, but if you have questions, then I will go into details. So, what is the classification of AI? Is learning, right? Let me give a very brief example. For example, so that anybody who doesn't have the understanding of AI and all these things could understand what we were talking about. For example, a 3 years old child see a bottle of water, and he or she asks the mother, "What is this?" Mother say, "It's a bottle of water." Now, the eyes of child has seen the bottle, right? And the ears have heard bottle of water. Now, these two things are recorded, right? So, in the when we go for the machine learning, we show something to the machine and tell it is this thing. Let's say, for example, if we show a machine a bottle and it's a water bottle, this is a water bottle, right? So if we show 20,000 different water bottles to the machine will recognize it. It's called learning, right? Then we can have deep learning. So all these models what we be talking based on the same analogy, like the example I gave in the case of the child. So when we go further, it can be spied learning, which is trained on labeled data. That is every let me spend 30 seconds on data. What is data? It's every data has a metadata. What is metadata? Data about data, right? In data about data, we have entities. For example, if I take the example of human being, every human being has eyes, face, nose, everything, right? Now, if we talk about this eye is entity. Now, what is the attributes? I can see it. I can see right, left. So there are a number of functions. So if I talk the sequence, what is metadata? Data about data. Now, what is data? It is every data has got entity, which is again a very symbolic thing. Then every entity has got attributes, and every attribute has a data sets, like age, date of birth, blah blah blah. Now, when we do something trained on labeled data, it's called surprise learning. That we exactly know that what we are doing. Then second is unsurprised learning, which talks about it finds patterns, and it is not labeled, but it finds patterns. As the example I gave in the case of the vehicle crossing your home, and it is unlabeled data. It's data, but it is unlabeled data. Now, what is reinforcement learning? It learns through rewards and penalties. For example, crossing a red light is a is something not legal. So, if some vehicles, somebody crossed the red light and it got penalized, then it is learned that whenever you
He'll
cross
not
the red
repeat the
light,
same
you'll
mistake
be
again.
penalized again.
Yeah,
But yeah, so the same thing like reward. What is reward? That if you do something good, if you speak truth, if you throw something out, you just pick it up and say sorry, I will not do it again. So it's called reinforcement learning. Then semi-supervised learning, in which we combine labeled and unlabeled learning. So this is some sort of a classification I'm talking about. Now, what is the role of AI in cybersecurity? This is very, very important, and this is my passion. And I will request the organizers to arrange at least 2 hours of something like this, in which we could deep down on all these things we're talking about.
they're
You know,
hearing you, Mr.
data.
Ammar.
Thank you. Data neutrals, I think, stored and analyzed to identify cyber attacks pattern. You know, for example, if somebody attacking on your system, he or she can attack on anything. For example, they can attack your memory, they can attack your database, they can attack your communication system, they can attack your routers. So it depends what they are up to, right? So it's something attack pattern. At what time they're attacking? For example, if I'm a hacker and I want to attack a bank, so I would like to attack on it 2 a.m. in the morning, so nobody's on duty, right? So that's why we have SOC in the organization, all these things. So when we analyze the attack pattern, I think that's very important. Now, all these organizations, there are thousands of organizations in the world who are storing this data, right? Again, it depends. For example, my organization, which is Pakistan Information Security Association, we are in communication with number of certs, and luckily, we happen to be the only PISA cert in Pakistan which is communicating with American certs, with Chinese certs, with Russian state certs, with some Middle East certs. So we have cyber days, all these things. So as a arrangement, we have communication, and in which, for example, if some ATM machine is hacked in some country, so we know about it, the attack pattern. So this is very important. Second is, again, I have told you, shifting. It's so much fastly shifting from reactive cybersecurity to proactive cybersecurity that at times I really get afraid that what's going to happen with our traditional, वो मैं उर्दू में टीना भाड़ा कहता हूँ उसको, वो जो हम XRY के इतने बड़े बड़े डब्बे और ये सब चीजें लिए फिरते थे कि जी ये कैसे हो रहा है, ये कैसे हो रहा है. We have to be very much cognizant of the fact that this shift from reactive security to proactive security needs to be made under some international standards, under some quality control issues, and under the supervision of some highly trained and skilled people. Otherwise, it's like putting your old stuff out of the home and then putting the new stuff into it. So it's very important we do not destroy anything which is previous, and we do not put anything new which is not adjustable in our environments. Everything has to be adjustable, right? So cybersecurity threats identified through cyber threat intelligence, CTI. What is threat intelligence, right? What is intelligence? I've spent so much of time in the intelligence field that I understand the intelligence part of it. But now we're talking about cyber threat. So again, based on what said up till now, we can have intelligence that in which country, what type of attacks are being made, what is the demographic composition of that country, what is the economic, and which organizations are being targeted in which country. So all these information we can have some good understanding of uh, intelligence about threats. So the core word here is threat. So again, cyber is very clear. So we need to have some intelligence. So what is intelligence? getting information about something which may happen or may not happen, but you know about it, right? When we deploy a spy to some other country, we give him or her the target that you have to do this, right? And if you face this situation, you act upon this. So we have to understand. We have got lot of CTI, cyber drills, cyber ranges, all these things. So there are a lot of rewards into it. So we need to understand what are the new paradigm due to AI-based technology. I think threats are there for the last, I think, 50 years, and there are attacks on it. But now, why AI-based cyber threat is more important to understand than the previous one? In the previous era, the attackers were simple, right? They were as trained
Yeah.
as we are. But now they're highly trained. You know, normally it's a pattern globally that first the crime comes, then the law comes. This is very, very much clear. I think you
Okay.
cannot make a law in the absence of a crime. So first, if you see the human history for the last 100,000 years, first some crime will come. You know, these street lights of London, they are the product of the Industrial Revolution. Because before Industrial Revolution, there was nothing like street lights. Even the police was not there. That's why we call them chief constable, because the word constable was invented in that time. So the policing and all these street lights came. So as the new threat came, we had the same problem and same issues, right? But now, as we are entering into Industrial Revolution 5.0 and Society 5.0, and everybody is having a laptop and all these things, so these are becoming a real challenge for all of us, right? So the AI based, whatever I talked up till now, which is data driven, which is data analytics part of it, so there's something. So we have to AI provide efficiency for cyber protection, as I told you, that your SIEM, SOC, CERT, all these solutions which we normally feel that it will make our. I was just having some investigation in the private sector, and I found that the people in the organizations, they were involved in that crime, and how it was detected. It was detected through cameras, right? We got a chance to deploy some software there. So we deployed that if, let's say, 2 a.m. in the morning, um, uh, so the number of persons beyond this number walk through this gate, it needs to be alerted. The moment it is alerted, then we have some second step. So AI provide, on the same analogies, AI provide efficiency on the cyber protection. It's very important that we need to understand the role of AI in protecting cyberspace. There are, again, due to shortage of time, I cannot give you real life examples. There have been attacks on different countries. There have been patterns in which uh, AI, AI is something recent, but before that, we had some sort of analysis that okay, this will happen. So this thing is going to happen in the same sequence. But now we have a mechanism, we have a pattern, and now we can do things very comfortably. So let's talk about future prospects of AI in cyberspace. Before I start this topic, I think from cyber space we have to understand the real space, right? Which is we can't understand now. There was a telescope. It was called Hubble. So it was traveling around the world for the last, I think, plus 30 years. But moment the new telescope, which is called James Webb, it has gone up. Trust you me, it has opened a new Pandora. I think the world we knew for the last 100 years, 1,000 years, is totally different with the actual world now. And in that world, there are number of factors, number of things which will be coming to us. When I was in the school or college, there was a program like Star Trek. So whatever I saw in Star Trek, I'm viewing it now in the life. So whatever this James Webb telescope is telling us If you have any interest, you can contact me. I'm in contact with it's luckily SDG 18. You know about me that I'm working on SDG 18 at a global level. Alhamdulillah, very recently I have been appointed as a member of the specialized committee on artificial intelligence by government of China, and there are a lot of people in that committee which are Nobel Prize winner. But this is not a credit for me. But again, I'm really thankful to them that they have selected me for 3 years, and we are very much. Understanding. Yeah, please. Time is over now.
No, no. Could you please
Yes.
repeat? I think due
You like
to
me to have
internet
questions
disturb.
now?
Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Okay. Okay. So I was I was talking
Hmm.
about I was talking about from cyberspace to real space, right? And the role of AI in that era. So there was a telescope which was Hubble. I think that was telling us something about the space, right? But I think 2 years before, the Americans sent a new telescope in the in the space, and that went very high. I must say, very high in the space. I think 10 times more high than the Hubble, and that has opened a new Pandora of information. We have been told that Rabbul Mashrakane, Rabbul Maghribane, Rabbul Alameen, Rahmatul Alameen. I am very clear about it. That I was told 14 years before about all these things. That the world we knew in the last 2,000 years is totally different. It's very small now. So now this has opened a new era of threats to the world. I've been told that there are so many things which we don't even define, like sea, we have like black holes, so many things. So now it is not a myth now. There are something messages are coming from the space and all these things. I'm not trying to express here any fiction. As I told you that when I was in my college or school, there was a program called Star Trek. So whatever Star Trek used to tell in those TV shows, I can see it now. So whatever James Webb is now telling us definitely is going to unfold in next 10, 20 years. But in that era, I think we need to prepare our youth now. That's why we are working on Digital Pakistan Vision 2047, because in 47 we'll be completing 100 years. So I am very much optimistic about it, that if we train our youth anywhere in the world, and now it's an era of working together. I think no country can prosper in isolation in the era of cyberspace. So quantum computing, so it's beyond AI. So what's that? Again, due to shortage of time, what I was told, I think I cannot deep dive it on quantum. It's complete. Our traditional computing has a tradition of zero and one. That's everyone knows about it. But quantum computing has introduced, I think, something beyond that. It has previously we had bits, bytes, and all these things, parity bit, and all these things which we used to work. But now quantum computing is going beyond zero and one. It's giving us another combination which has generated we has which has generated the combination of zero and one, so many combinations. Now there'll be very fast computing, very fast computing. Computing will become very fast. The big data I told about you, it will handle very massive data based on machine learning. But this is a challenge also. Criminals are always ahead of the people who are using that information or technology, right? So we need to understand that the role of AI in quantum computing can be very, very effective if we understand some basic principles. So, quantum computing offers future potential for faster data processing, but for that, we have to understand that what is data, what is machine learning, how we can apply data analytics to all these, and top of all, how can we use AI for quantum computing. So with that, I think when I see my watch, my time is over now, as I was told. So now I'm open
Um,
for any question from
mhm.
anybody.
Well, thank you so much, Ammar, for such an amazing insight and inspiring presentation. Well, yeah, I there are a lot of questions visible. All right. Well, China has been the leader in developing AI-driven cybersecurity tool with a unique innovation. It's the question has been subjected from Elora. With the unique innovation has emerged from Chinese company. What are the unique innovation that has been emerged? What have you witnessed? Could you please share a thing?
Okay. I am working with China for a very long time. When I was in the government service, I used to visit a lot with some sort of the meetings, etc. So when I got retired, I started with PISA. PISA is Pakistan Information Security Association. I think in your email, in my email address, you can see about it. You see the website and you see what PISA is doing. So right now, we are working with China in three different domains. One is research and development, which is the pension lab in Shenzhen, and one is the cybersecurity, which is and we are working with National Cert of China, and third part is their organization called World Internet Conference, WIC, World Internet Conference. So I'm very much excited about World Internet Conference because they have made this specialized committee on artificial intelligence, in which they have selected me as one of their members. And it's a very small committee, and I think we have 5 meetings in 2025. We had 4 meetings in 2024, and what I could gather that China is investing a lot in research and development, and I think we should learn from them. You can understand that new inventions are made in USA and production is made in China. That has given them some sort of organized working, and we as a country, Pakistan, must learn from them. In the area of cybersecurity, they are very advanced now, very advanced now. So I can only touch upon they are
All right.
into proactive cybersecurity. They are using blockchain for cybersecurity. And Alhamdulillah, I've been part of their previous efforts in use of blockchain for cybersecurity. Now they are using AI for cybersecurity. But whatever me and my organization is learning from them, we would like to teach people. We would like to share our things. So that is very quick response to your question.
All right. Plus, Mr. Ammar, could you please also explain the thing that is it like cybersecurity can learn things is it capable of learning new things just as a human? So if it is, it has the capability, then is it going to replace the human being from the portion? I actually personally am very much concerned about it because
This is a very interesting debate. Very interesting debate going on these on. Let me give you example. In my childhood, there were horse-driven carts. I don't see them now. Then we had taxis, yellow taxis. I don't see them now. You can't stop time and technology. If we decide that there'll be no 10 p.m. In Pakistan, we cannot. Whatever we do, there'll be 10 p.m. Right? So, as say the saying goes that you cannot stop time and technology, we cannot stop technology. Quantum computing is going to replace AI, I must say, but AI will replace those who will not learn AI, right? Yes, some people will be replaced who will not learn AI. So, I think if we are in the era of cybersecurity, we need to understand AI, and we need to understand what are the dynamics of AI. And I am of the very firm camp that AI is not going to replace anyone. And AI is going to bring efficiency. AI is going to bring more refinement in our working. AI is going to make us more organized, more trained, which is very much required. Don't be afraid of this robotics. Yeah, a lot of people send me that they said that's natural. That's natural. So we must understand that change is natural, and change is now solving your problems. So whatever the initial caption was that we need to use AI or anything for the development. And when we say development, it is called SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. Thank you.
All right. Plus, there is one more thing. Well, there's a okay now. Huran Nadeem is asking, cloud AI potentially be weaponized in cyber warfare, and what measures are in place to prevent such misuse? We would like to hear your thoughts
Okay,
on this.
what is cyber warfare? Yeah, yeah. What is cyber warfare? We had horse-driven wars. I think Napoleon was the last person who was on the horseback. After that, the world has not seen a horse-driven war now. Then different technologies came, and today we are talking about the cyber warfare. Yes, there'll be a lot of role of misinformation, disinformation, all these things. So in hybrid warfare, we have foot to the ground also. There was slang like bites before bullets. It was in the Ukraine war before that, right? So then first we attack a country using some cyber attack, then we attack the country physically. You actually incapacitate their critical infrastructures. Yes, there's a lot of role of AI because to my understanding AI is going to create a lot of disinformation, misinformation, and it demoralizes the people of the country. Yes, armies don't fight, the people, the real nation fights for that. All those countries who have been victim of war, if their nation was there. So I think my understanding is that AI will be used, and all those who are involved into cyber warfare must understand that AI can bring the country at a very dangerous stage if we don't counter it. And to how to counter it, only one thing: awareness, understanding. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Plus, there was one of the, one question that was in my mind. It actually is related with the first one that I asked you. Um, as we are like harnessing, we are trying. We actually have a lot worked on this already. That we are trying to harness the artificial intelligence to, work on the cybersecurity solutions. So, is there any development or thing that you'd like to share that artificial intelligence can actually create some of the threat as a cybersecurity? Are there any concerns that?
Yeah, yeah. Every threat is a concern, right? Every mitigation is satisfaction. So now, if I could, there's some distortion in your voice. I don't know, but again, what I could understand is that if we use AI to understand the threat perception, as we talked about under CTI, we can easily control
Mhm.
it, right? For example, if there is some, let's say, man in the middle attack or some specialized attack on some particular targets, and we understand it, how we are going to understand it? Knowledge is absolute, but the information which is now coming and going, I think that is current. I think what we have written or what we have heard in the learned in the books is old knowledge now. We have to understand through cyber drills. We have to understand through like this CTF, capture the flag. We have to understand through some sort of war gaming. So we need to train our people on the same pattern using AI, on the pattern the attacks will be coming. Otherwise, if there's some gap into it, we are going to have a serious problem. Thank you.
All right. Aisha Malika sent a question. How can the cybersecurity community ensure that AI itself does not become a target for exploitation or manipulation by cyber criminals? Yeah, this is an interesting question.
Okay. Let me, Aisha, let me give you a very simple, simple answer. Knife. If it is in the hand of a criminal, it can kill someone. If it is in the hand of a surgeon, it
Save
can
someone.
save the life of someone. So this is the simple response to your question.
All right. Am I audible to you, Mr. Amar?
Yeah, very, very much audible,
All
very
right,
much
all
audible.
right. And people actually are finding this very informative and enlightening. There has been a debate within the comment as well. All right, now Alia Khan has sent a question. Will AI be able to completely replace human? He already have said, or alongside. Okay, now this there's an addition. Or will it work alongside them in 2030? So first there was a question till now, and yeah.
I have a camp, and there are a lot of people with me in this camp. We are of the firm conviction that AI is not going to replace things. Yes, AI is coming as a big danger. As in the last 2 days, you have been hearing a lot about the new product by China. You know, always the people with less knowledge, the people with absolute knowledge, they are afraid of these things. I think we should face technology with a lot of courage, bravery, and we need to understand it. And one thing is very important that we should teach our kids in school now. It's now or never situation. And my entire digital Pakistan team throughout Pakistan working on one point in that right now when I'm talking to you, there's a parallel webinar going on, and when I see my phone, I'll be receiving number of messages that join there also.
Okay.
So we are working at almost round the clock to to present only one thing, that we have to prepare for Digital Pakistan Vision 2047. 2047, you may think that is 20 years. No, no, it's not like this. Nations take a start and they take a decision. So I'm very much positive that all deficiencies in the history of nations, you have seen a number of years, like 300 years for America. I think, to my knowledge, 80 years before, the women there were not having the rights of vote. So I think 75 years or 76 years is not a big year. So I'm very much positive that if we teach our kids right now when we are talking in the schools, the Python and all these STEM education, STEAM education. So by 2047, Pakistan will be, Alhamdulillah, in the top 20 ranking countries. Thank you.
Right. So, are there any question left from the side of the commenters, or there are some from my mind as well? Am I audible?
Can anybody in the audience unmute yourself and say something about my talk, because I would like to be gauged from the audience also.
What are the potential risks of AI being used maliciously in cyber attack by 2030? These are the things. I think this question already has been answered. How can okay, now this is one of the interesting one. How can organization train their workforce to be prepared for future AI evolution and advancement? This is the thing that actually I was also wanting to know about.
Okay, human beings understand what they want to
Yeah.
understand. This is very interesting. I can talk on 1 hour on this topic. The human beings understand what they want to understand. So we'll have to create a conducive environment for our organizations to understand these things, right? Just your entrance system in the organizations. If you keep a watch on the people, which is called keeping an eye on your human resource, don't make them scared, right? Tell them that this is for your safety. No intruder can come into it, right? So engage people in AI to make them comfortable with the technology. If you'll impose them, I think a week before I was invited by some big organization to give a talk there to the security people. I said, don't make the people scared. No, 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 it's not like this. We are not having guns, weapons, and bullets. No, no. Make them understand that this something is for your reorganization, for making your systems better, making you secure. So I think if we win the confidence of the people in the organization, they will not only accept it, they will give you better results.
Mhm. All right. Plus, Mr. Ammar, I would like to know, in your experience, what has been the most significant barrier to, for like business, especially emerging in the digital market, AI-based security solutions? How, what obstacles they can overcome? Uh, could you?
Okay, I think supply chain is
Mhm.
is a big obstacle now. We produce a lot of good things, and supply chain is not only for the supply of the hardware or some package we are talking about. Supply chain again is a term being used for the institutional products and services which we are giving, be it social media, marketing, or maybe search engine optimization, thing like
Mhm.
this. We need to have some quality control on that. Quality control on that. Unluckily, we are scared, we are afraid of the standards, we are afraid of the quality controls because that separates good things from the bad things. I think we need to face it, and this is the only answer I can give.
All right, all right. Well, if there, I don't think that we have much time left. Let me just go through the comment if there's any question. Um, well, any tip, any advice from your end to the young generation, especially to the Gen Z of this era, who have seen the privilege, who have seen each and everything what I haven't never witnessed, what I have actually witnessed in my childhood. So they actually have the privilege of AI thing within their hands. So anything that you would like to advise them?
My advice to the youth would be don't wait for anything. Time is not going to come back, right?
Exactly.
So you have got an opportunity. You are much ahead of us, much ahead of us. So I wish God has given me this opportunity 50 years before. I would have been a more trained person. So I have lost that opportunity, but you have got this opportunity. If something goes wrong in your careers, blame yourself for it. Don't blame others for it. So tomorrow morning when you get up, make some discipline in life. Your do and do not should be very clear that I will do this, I will not do this. Thank you very
Welcome.
much.
Just a last question, Mr. Ammar. It seems so interesting. How, look, we are increasingly rely on artificial intelligence powered cybersecurity solutions. So, how do we redefine the accountability and responsibility in human machine collaboration? This is the thing that I would like to have an answer from your end.
Okay. Our dependence is increasing very fast. Just think, changing your life. What you were doing in last year, same day, you are doing it now, right? I think for the last 10 years, I am organizing two webinars, 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Previously, the audience were not that much, but now I can see the pressure of the audience now. So I think now the adaptability of AI and all these technologies is very fast. But as the question says, we need to strike a balance between it. On a lighter side, in Japan, there's research going on that we should take our kids back to the books because these your phone in your hand, sitting like this. Maybe you have some in that tub in your neck and in your back, and so many things. So we need to strike a fine balance between you know meeting a person physically, especially your friend, is totally different if you meet in a webinar, right? So we need to strike a balance of using emerging technology and adaptation of the blockchain and all these things. Don't make your life confused. Don't mix your player with your learning time. It's totally different. Thank you
Well,
very
thank
much.
you so much, Mr. Ammar, for sharing your expertise and answering all the questions that were thrown to you from the commenters. Thank you so much for the audience as well. And if you have any question regarding the artificial intelligence being harnessed for preventation of cybersecurity, for any of the concerns, you can log into Logic Finder social channel. Okay, signing off. Bye bye.